Pleasant morning to each and everyone. My name is Jessica S. Delagot, your presenter for today. Today, we're going to be tackled about BRUNER'S constructivist theory. But first, I am going to read the learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, describe the development of the child's ability to represent knowledge, explain how the spiral curriculum works. According to Jerome Bruner, learners are encouraged to discover facts and relationships for themselves. Quote describes discovery learning, an educational approach where students actively explore, experiment, and solve problems to construct their own understanding of facts and relationships, rather than being given information directly. Jerome Bruner, born on October 1, 1915. He was 94 years old, born in New York, New York. So he finished his studies, PhD Harvard 1941, a psychology, BA Duke University in 1937. He was also an American Psychologists Association, Law and Society Association, Society for Research in Child Development. And he was also have a publication, The Culture of Education 1996, Acts of Meaning in 1991, Actual Minda Possible Worlds 1987, The Process of Education in 1960. Move on the constructivism. So constructivism is basically a theory based on observation and scientific study about how people learn. It says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge for the world through experiencing things and reflecting. Constructivism is a learning theory that asserts people actively create their own understanding by making a sense of their own experiences and reflect them on them. So this process involves building upon prior knowledge and in a constructivist approach. So the teacher's roles shifts from lecturing to guiding students through activities like problem solving and experimentation to construct their own understanding. And now let's move on to Brunner's concepts. So there are four Brunner's concepts. First is representation of knowledge. Second, spiral curriculum. Third, discovery learning. Fourth, decategorization. So we have three types of representation of knowledge. First is an active. Second, iconic. Third, the symbolic. The first stage he termed inactive, when a person learns about the world through actions on physical subjects and the outcomes of these actions. So inactive learning is about learning through direct experience and action rather than just watching or reading about it. So dili lang kang kanang like magbasa lang ka nga wala kay buhat. So from the word inactive is na siya buhat. So it is called doing it yourself. So for example kanang magluto kag new recipe. So di ba nay mga following instructions and imo din na siyang buhaton. Mono siya inactive, like na siya actions through yourself. The second stage was called iconic, where learning can be obtained through using models and pictures. So iconic means something is very recognizable. In a simple words, iconic means something is special, recognizable, and important. So kanang iconic is a visual representation. So for example, magtudlo kag bata, you kanang mag-show ka og kanang shape ba or kanang mga kuan jud nga kapareha. For example, apple, magkuan po ka na mag-shape po ka na og apple para ma-recognize nila og unsa na ang imong gipakita sa ilaha. So lain sab nga example is kana ang logo. So, di ba pag naay logo, palitan mo, palit ka. Pag makita nimo yung logo, ma-recognize na yun nimo ug unsa ang ilahang gibaligya. So, the third one is symbolic. So, symbolic in which the learner develops the capacity to think in abstract terms. So, based on this three-stage notion, Brunner's recommended using a combination of concrete pictorial, then symbolic activities will lead to more effective learning. In simple words, symbolic representation is using symbols to think, solve problems, and communicate ideas. So, symbolic representation is using symbols. So, we use words, numbers, or signs to represent things, ideas, or concepts. So next, we're going to tackle about discovery learning. So discovery learning refers to obtaining knowledge for oneself. So discovery learning is a method where individuals gain knowledge for themselves through exploration, investigation, and problem solving rather than being explicitly told information. So discovery learning is a hands-on approach, is rooted in constructivist theory, and emphasizes the learner's role in building understanding from their own experiences and prior knowledge. Next, we have the categorization. Categorization is rooted in his constructivist theory, which posits that learners actively construct knowledge by organizing and categorizing information. So, categorization is central to constructivist theory because it aligns with the belief that learners actively build knowledge by actively organizing and structuring new information into their existing cognitive frameworks. So, this means learning isn't passive, but an active process where individuals interpret experiences and make sense of the world. So, a concept rooted in the work of theorists like John Piaget. So, this categorization is focused on learner centered. So, categorization highlights the learner's active role. Next, we have theory of instruction. So, these are four types of theory of instruction. First, we have predisposition to learn, extraction of knowledge, effective sequencing, and last is reinforcement. So, now I'm going to explain the theory of instruction. So, theory of instruction is rooted in constructivism and discovery learning, advocating for active, inquiry-based learning where students construct knowledge through experience and interaction with information. So, this approach views learning as an active process where students build their own understanding by connecting new information with their prior knowledge and experiences through inquiry and interaction. So, it is a student-centered model where the teacher acts as a facilitator. So, in theory of instruction, so, needs sab nila o ganang teacher to instruct them and encourage them to hands-on activities and problem solving instead of passing information reception. So first is predisposition to learn. So predisposition to learn, which is the learner readiness to learn. So Bruner's theory emphasizes that learning is an active, constructive process driven by curiosity and involves discovering principles for oneself, with instructor providing a suitable instructor for this discovery. So by understanding this, teachers can create learning experiences that promote motivation and engagement. Second is structure of knowledge. So structure of knowledge is organized around three modes of representation: the inactive, iconic, and symbolic that children use to understand and organize information. So what I've discussed earlier, so inactive through actions and doing things. The iconic is through images and pictures, and the symbolics through words, numbers, and symbols. So, Bruner's theory emphasizes that knowledge is not just a collection of facts, but rather a structured and organized system that we can understand and build upon. Third, we have effective sequencing. So, effective sequencing involves presenting a spiral curriculum that moves from simple to complex and concrete to abstract concepts. So, by sequencing information effectively, teachers can help learners understand and retain information better. So, the key points is start with the basics. Next is connect new information to existing knowledge. And third is gradually increase complexity. Lastly, we have the reinforcement. So, reinforcement refers to the appropriate use of rewards and punishment to motivate learners and reinforce learning. By providing reinforcement, teachers can help learners stay motivated, build confidence, and develop a deeper understanding of the material. So, the key points is positive feedback, guidance, and support. So, these three are very important if you are a teacher. So next is a spiral curriculum. So a spiral curriculum is an approach that revisits a subject multiple times at increasing levels of complexity. So, as per curriculum, a student might first learn basic addition and subtraction. So, mag-learn na siya sa basic and subtraction with single-digit numbers. So, then later, revisit the topic to learn more complex additions and subtraction na two-digit numbers na. And eventually, apply those foundational skills to algebra na dayon in high school. Ano siya ang spiral curriculum. So, step by step na siya with basic to kuan na siya palisod-lisod na. And that's all for my part. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.